Picture this. I'm just stirring soup in my quiet Seattle kitchen when my stepson walks in, and one look flips my world upside down. Suddenly, I'm questioning everything I've known for 12 years. A late night talk on the couch nearly breaks every rule I've ever set, and then, bam, he's gone, leaving a note that hits like a punch. What happened? Stick around, because this story's gonna mess with your head. Hey, before we jump into this tale, drop a comment with where you're tuning in from and hit that subscribe button. Ready? Let's roll. I'm standing at the stove in my little kitchen on the outskirts of Seattle, stirring a pot of tomato basil soup. The rain's tapping against the window like it's trying to get in, and the sizzle of olive oil is the only sound breaking the quiet. I'm 43, been married to Mike for 12 years, and tonight's just another Tuesday. Or so I thought. The smell of herbs fills the air, a recipe I haven't pulled out in ages, maybe because it reminds me of a time when life felt warmer. Mike's in the living room, glued to the TV, same as always. He's a good guy, don't get me wrong. But somewhere along the way, he stopped seeing me. I'm just part of the furniture now. Then Ethan walks in. My stepson, 25, fresh off his master's in ecology, back home while he figures out his next move. He's tall, hair still damp from a shower, and he stops in the doorway, sniffing the air. "Whoa, that smells amazing," he says, his voice easy, like he's just stumbled into something good. I laugh, can't help it, and grab a spoon from the counter. "Here, try it," I say, holding it out to him without a second thought. It's a simple move, something I'd do for anyone, but when his eyes meet mine, something shifts. He doesn't just take the spoon. He leans in slow, like he's savoring the moment before the taste even hits him. And I catch it. His gaze lingers on me, not the soup. My heart does this weird little flip, and I'm standing there, frozen, watching him taste it. "Laura, you're a wizard," he says, grinning. And it's not just the words, it's the way he says them, like he means it, like I've done something worth noticing. I haven't heard that kind of warmth in forever. I smile back, trying to play it cool, but inside I'm buzzing. For the first time in years, someone's looking at me like I'm more than just the lady who keeps the house running. And yeah, it feels good. Too good, maybe. Then Mike's voice cuts through from the living room. "Laura, turn that stove down before you burn the place up," he yells, not even looking over. I flinch, and the spoon slips from my hand. Ethan catches it midair, quick as anything, and our fingers almost brush. Almost. I pull back fast, muttering a thanks, and turn to the stove, pretending to adjust the heat. My hands are shaky, though, and I can feel Ethan's eyes on me for a second longer before he steps back. "Guess I'll leave you to it," he says, casual, like nothing happened. But something did. I know it, even if I can't name it yet. I keep stirring the soup, telling myself it's nothing. Just a nice moment, right? I mean, I've been invisible to Mike for so long. 12 years of marriage, and he barely glances my way anymore. He's a nurse, works long shifts, and when he's home, he's either sleeping or scrolling his phone. I get it. He's tired, but I'm tired too, of being the one who's always there, always waiting. So when Ethan notices me, really notices me, it's like a glass of cold water after a long day. Refreshing. Dangerous maybe, but I push that thought down quick. See, here's the thing I'm learning as I stand there, the steam rising from the pot. Sometimes the smallest moments hit you the hardest. It wasn't some big dramatic scene, just a spoon, a smile, a look. But it's stuck in my head now. I catch myself replaying it while I set the table, wondering why it matters so much. Is it because I'm lonely? Or because Ethan's the first person in ages who's made me feel like I'm still here? I don't know yet, but I can't shake it. Later, we're all at the table, Mike, Ethan, and me. Mike's talking about some patient he had last night, not even looking up from his bowl. Ethan's quieter than usual, but every now and then I catch him glancing my way. Not obvious, just quick, like he's checking if I'm still there. I keep my eyes on my soup, stirring it more than I need to because I'm scared if I look back, he'll see something in me I'm not ready to admit. "So, Ethan," I say, trying to fill the silence, "how's the job hunt going?" He shrugs, spoon clinking against his bowl. Slow. Lots of applications, not much back yet. Guess I'll figure it out. His tone's light, but there's something in his eyes. Gratitude, maybe? Like he's glad I asked. Mike grunts something about the economy, and that's that. Dinner goes on, normal as ever, but I'm not fooled. That moment in the kitchen? It's still there, humming under the surface. When I'm washing dishes later, alone, I start thinking, was it all in my head? I mean, I'm 43, he's 25. He's my stepson, for crying out loud. He's Mike's kid from his first marriage, and we've always been polite, friendly, but never close. I came into his life when he was a teenager, and we kept our distance, you know? Clear boundaries. So why does this feel different now? I tell myself I'm overthinking it. Loneliness does weird stuff to you. It makes you see things that aren't there, right? Like kindness turning into something more because you're starving for it. But then I catch my reflection in the window. Rain streaking down the glass, blurring my face. And I wonder, what if it wasn't just me? What if Ethan felt it too? I shake my head, laughing at myself. Get a grip, Laura, I mutter under my breath. It's ridiculous. I'm not that person. I'm a wife, a stepmom, someone who's spent years building a steady life. I don't cross lines like that. Never have. Still, as I turn off the kitchen light and head upstairs, I can't stop the question from creeping in. Why did that moment feel so big? I climb into bed next to Mike, who's already snoring, and stare at the ceiling. Ethan's room is down the hall, and I wonder if he's awake, thinking about it too. Probably not. Probably just me being silly. But here's the kicker. I don't want it to be nothing. For the first time in forever, I felt alive, and that's the part that scares me most. So, what's the takeaway here? Maybe it's this. We tell ourselves we're in control, that we know who we are, but one tiny spark can make you question everything. I'm not saying I'm proud of it, but I'm not saying I'd take it back either. What about you? Ever had a moment that caught you off guard? Made you wonder who you really are? Stick around, because this story's just getting started. I wake up the next morning with this weird heaviness in my chest, like I've got a secret I don't even want to admit to myself. Mike's already at the kitchen table, sipping coffee and scrolling through his phone, same as every day. Ethan's there too, staring into his mug like it's got all the answers. I mumble a quick, "Morning," and grab some cereal, trying to act normal, but the air feels off. Mike doesn't notice. He never does, but Ethan barely looks up. "Sleep okay?" I ask, just to break the silence. "Yeah, fine," he says, short and clipped, and that's it. I catch myself watching him, waiting for something more, but he's shut down. All day it's like that. I'm folding laundry, and he walks by with his laptop, heading to his room. No smile, no chat, just a nod. Later, I'm at the sink rinsing dishes, and he grabs a glass of water, standing so close I can smell his shampoo. My hands freeze under the faucet, and I'm hyper-aware of every move he makes. It's dumb, right? He's just getting water. But my pulse picks up, and I hate that it does. I tell myself it's nothing, that last night in the kitchen was just a fluke. But deep down, I know I'm kidding myself. That evening, Mike's gone. Another night shift at the hospital. He's a nurse, always pulling long hours, and I'm used to it by now. Except tonight, it's just me and Ethan in this quiet house, and that changes everything. I'm wiping down the counters when he comes in, leaning against the doorway. "Need a hand?" he asks, and I nod, handing him a dish towel. We work side by side, drying plates, and it's fine for a minute, normal even. Then he says it out of nowhere. "You ever dream about a different life, Laura?" I stop, the sponge dripping in my hand. "What do you mean?" I ask, but my voice shakes a little. He looks out the window at the rain, not at me. "You know, like if things had gone another way? If you'd picked a different path?" I swallow hard because that question hits me square in the gut. "Every day," I say before I can stop myself. He turns then, and his eyes lock on mine. Steady, searching like he's seeing right through me. "Me too," he says, soft. and it's like the room shrinks around us. For a second, neither of us moves. The thunder rumbles outside, loud and sudden, and we both jump a little, laughing it off. Guess the storm's got opinions, I say, trying to lighten it up, but my heart's pounding. He grins, but it fades fast. Sometimes I wonder if we're stuck pretending everything's okay, he says, wiping a plate way longer than he needs to. I don't know what to say, so I just nod, because yeah, I get it. I've been pretending for years, pretending Mike still cares, pretending I'm fine being invisible. But saying it out loud? That's a whole other thing. We finish the dishes and he lingers, leaning against the counter. You're good at this, he says, nodding at the kitchen, making things feel real. I laugh, brushing it off. It's just dishes, Ethan. But he shakes his head. Nah, it's more than that. You've got a way of making people feel seen. My breath catches because that's the last thing I expected him to say. I've spent so long feeling like a ghost in my own house, and here he is, flipping that on its head. I turn away, fussing with the sink, because I don't trust myself to look at him. Thanks, I mutter, but my mind's racing. Why does this feel so big? He's just being nice, right? Except it doesn't feel like just nice. It feels like he's peeling back a layer I've kept hidden. And the scariest part? I like it. I like that he sees me when Mike doesn't, that he's asking questions no one else bothers with. It's like he's waking something up in me, and I'm not sure I want it to go back to sleep. Later, I'm on the couch with a glass of wine, trying to shake it off. Ethan's upstairs, probably on his laptop, and the house is quiet again. But my head's loud, replaying his words, that look in his eyes. I tell myself I'm overreacting. He's 25, my stepson, Mike's kid from his first marriage. We've never been tight. Friendly, sure, but there's always been this polite distance. So why is it different now? Is it because I'm lonely? Or because he's the first person in forever who's made me feel like I matter? I take a sip of wine and stare at the rain streaking down the window. Maybe it's not about him at all. Maybe it's about me. About how desperate I've gotten for someone to notice I'm still here. But then I think about how he said, "me too," and my stomach flips again. Was he just talking about life? Or was there more behind it? I don't know, and that's what keeps me up, tossing and turning long after I should have been asleep. Here's the thing I'm chewing on. We all wear these masks, acting like everything's fine, but one real conversation can rip that mask right off. Ethan's question. It wasn't just words. It was a mirror, showing me how much I've been hiding. And yeah, it's scary because now I'm wondering, what if I don't want to keep pretending? What if I've been waiting for someone to call it out? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, just that it's real. Ever had someone say something that made you see yourself clearer than you wanted to? That's where I'm at, and I've got a feeling it's only the beginning. I'm noticing things now, stuff I can't unsee. It's been a week since that night in the kitchen with Ethan, and every day, it's like he's leaving little breadcrumbs I'm too afraid to pick up. He's not loud about it, nothing obvious, but I catch him watching me when he thinks I'm not looking. Like yesterday, I was fixing my hair in the hallway mirror, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw him pause at the top of the stairs, just staring. Not creepy, just intentional. His voice gets softer too, when it's just us, like last night when he asked if I needed help with the trash. Mike was at work, of course, and I said sure, and we hauled the bins out together, the air crisp and quiet. Tonight, I'm in the living room, curled up on the couch with a book I'm barely reading. The lamp's glowing soft, casting shadows on the walls, and the house feels too still. Ethan walks in, fresh from a shower, his hair damp and sticking up a little. He doesn't say anything at first, just sits on the other end of the couch, closer than he usually would. I feel it, the shift, like the air's thicker now that he's here. I keep my eyes on the page, but my hands are sweaty, and I'm reading the same line over and over. You ever feel like we're all just faking it, he says, breaking the silence. His voice is low, like he's testing the waters. I look up, and he's leaning forward, elbows on his knees, staring at the floor. What do you mean? I ask. even though I've got a pretty good guess. He shrugs, but his eyes flick to mine, like we're pretending to be happy because it's easier than admitting we're not. My stomach drops, because that hits too close. I've been faking it for years, smiling at Mike, cooking dinner, acting like I don't mind being invisible. But hearing it out loud, that's different. I set the book down, my hands shaky. Sometimes, yeah, I say, keeping it light, but my heart's racing. He nods like he knew I'd get it. I think about that a lot, he says. How we go through the motions, you know? Like life's this script we're supposed to follow. I swallow hard, because he's right. I've been following the script forever. Wife, stepmom, the one who holds it all together. But lately that script feels like it's choking me. There's this long pause, and the rain's tapping the windows again, steady and soft. I should change the subject. Talk about the weather or his job hunt. Something safe. But I don't. What if we're not pretending? I say instead, my voice barely above a whisper. His head snaps up, and his eyes lock on mine, sharp and steady. It's like I've just thrown a match into dry grass. For a second, neither of us moves, and I can hear my pulse thumping in my ears. His jaw tightens, and I see something flash in his face. Something raw, something I haven't seen before. Maybe that's the real question, he says, slow, like he's picking every word careful. What if we're not? My breath catches, and I feel this pull, like the couch is shrinking, like he's closer even though he hasn't moved. I'm 43, he's 25, he's my stepson, and I know this is a line I shouldn't even be near. But I'm here, and so is he, and the room feels electric. I lean forward just a little, and I can smell his soap, clean and sharp. His eyes don't leave mine, and I'm dizzy with how much I want to understand him, to figure out what's behind this moment. Then my phone buzzes on the coffee table, Mike saying he's stuck at the hospital another hour. It's like a bucket of cold water, snapping me back. I jerk upright too fast and mutter, "We can't." My voice cracks and I'm on my feet before I even realize it. Ethan's face shifts. Confusion first, then something heavier like disappointment. "Yeah," he says, quiet, and looks away, rubbing his hands together like he's trying to shake it off. "You're right." I grab my book and head for the stairs, my legs wobbly. "Night," I toss over my shoulder, not looking back because if I do, I might not leave. I hear him say night, too. Soft, and it sticks with me as I climb into bed, alone again. Mike's still not home, and the sheets are cold, but my head's on fire. What just happened? I almost crossed a line, didn't I? Or did I imagine it? No, I saw it in his eyes. He felt it too. That wasn't just me being lonely. That was real. I stare at the ceiling, replaying it. His words, that look, the way I wanted to lean in closer. I stopped it, yeah, but part of me wishes I hadn't. And that's the kicker. I'm not even sure I'm sorry. I tell myself it's wrong, that I'm a wife, that Ethan's family, not some guy I can just feel things for. But he sees me, really sees me, in a way Mike hasn't in years. Is it so bad to want that? To feel alive for once? Here's what I'm wrestling with. We think we've got these solid rules. Right, wrong, what's okay, what's not. But one moment can blur all that, make you question what you're even holding on to. I didn't do anything, not really. But I wanted to, and that's got me shook. Ever been there? Where you're standing on the edge knowing you should step back, but every part of you wants to jump? That's me right now, and I don't know if I'm strong enough to keep walking away. I wake up the next morning, and the house feels different, like it's holding its breath. Last night's still buzzing in my head, that moment on the couch with Ethan when I almost let myself fall. Mike's already gone for his shift, and I'm pouring coffee trying to act like everything's fine. Ethan shuffles into the kitchen, eyes on his phone, and mutters a quick, "Morning." I nod back, keeping it casual, but he doesn't look at me. Not once. It's subtle, but I feel it. He's pulling away. His shoulders are stiff, his answers short like he's building a wall brick by brick. All day, it's the same. I'm vacuuming and he walks through with his laptop. No hey or smile. Just a nod. Later, I'm chopping veggies for dinner and he grabs a soda from the fridge, barely a foot away, but he might as well be a mile off. Plans tonight? I ask, just to test the waters. Maybe, he says, flat, and heads upstairs. My chest tightens. I stopped us last night. I said, we can't. So why does it sting that he's acting like I don't exist? I wanted space, right? But this feels like punishment. Mike's home for dinner, flipping through his phone while we eat. You sleep okay? He asks, barely glancing up. Yeah, fine, I lie, stirring my soup. Ethan's across the table, poking at his food, silent. I sneak a look at him, trying to read his face, but it's blank, like he's locked me out. I hate it more than I should. I'm the one who drew the line, so why do I feel like I'm the one losing something? After dishes, Mike crashes on the couch, and Ethan disappears to his room. I'm left alone, scrubbing the sink, wondering how we got here. Next morning, it's worse. I'm in the hallway, grabbing my jacket, when Ethan brushes past, heading out. Our shoulders bump, and I freeze. Sorry, he mumbles, but then he stops, looking at me for the first time in days. I thought you felt it too, he says, voice low, almost broken. My heart slams against my ribs. I open my mouth to say something, anything, but nothing comes out. He shakes his head and walks away, leaving me standing there, stunned. He felt it. It wasn't just me. And now he's gone, the front door clicking shut behind him. I spend the day in a fog, replaying his words. I cook, I clean, I smile at Mike when he gets home, but inside I'm a mess. Every time I pass Ethan's room, I feel this pull, like I should knock, say something, fix it. But what would I even say? Yeah, I felt it, but I'm scared. I'm sorry I stopped us? I can't. I'm 43, married, his stepmom. This isn't some rom-com where I get to chase a feeling. So I bury it, or try to, pouring wine and staring out at the rain, telling myself silence is my best bet. But it's not working. That night, I'm on the couch, glass in hand, when I hear Ethan's car pull in. He'd been gone all weekend, said he was crashing at a friend's. I wait, listening as he comes inside, drops his keys on the counter. He doesn't come in, though, just heads upstairs. I sip my wine, bitter and cold, and wonder if this is it. We pretend nothing happened, let the distance grow, hope it fades. It's the smart move, the safe one. I've spent 12 years being safe with Mike, keeping everything steady. Why stop now? Except I can't stop thinking about it. His voice, that look, the way my whole body lit up when he was close. I'm drowning in guilt, yeah, but there's something else too. This ache, this want I can't shake. I tell myself it's wrong, that I'm a good person, that I'd never cross that line. But I already did, didn't I? Not with my hands, not with words, but in my head, in my heart. I let myself dwell on it, and now it's stuck, replaying like a song I can't turn off. I'm wrestling with this. What makes us who we are? The choices we make or the ones we don't? I didn't act on it, but I wanted to, and that's eating me alive. Is it better to feel something real and let it burn you or keep pretending everything's fine? I don't know. I just know I'm stuck here, sipping wine in the dark, trying to figure out how to live with this. Ethan's upstairs, and I wonder if he's lying awake too, if he's as torn up as I am. Maybe silence is all we've got left. Maybe if I don't say it, it'll disappear. Then it happens. Monday morning, I'm in the kitchen pouring coffee, when Ethan comes down with a duffel bag slung over his shoulder. What's up? I ask, keeping my voice light. He hesitates, shifting his weight. Found a place, he says, not meeting my eyes. A buddy's renting me a room downtown, moving out today. My stomach drops. Oh, is all I manage, gripping my mug. He nods, grabs his keys, and heads for the door. I want to stop him, ask why, beg him to stay, but my feet won't move. The door shuts, and I'm alone. I sink into a chair, staring at the spot where he stood. He's gone. Not just avoiding me, gone. And then I see it. A note on the counter, his messy handwriting. I grab it, hands shaking, and read, I can't stay here and pretend I don't feel it. I'm sorry, Laura, take care. My breath catches, and the room spins. He didn't just leave, he left because of me, because of us, because I couldn't face it. The note slips from my fingers, and I'm hit with this wave: guilt, relief, heartbreak, all at once. I didn't say a word, and now he's gone, and I'll never know what could have been. The silence I chose? It didn't save me. It broke everything. If you loved this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, drop a comment, and pass it along to your buddies. Pass it along. This is an artistic and fictional creation intended for both entertainment and educational purposes. Any resemblance to actual people or events is purely coincidental. Some scenes and dialogues in the video are part of a dramatized performance and incorporate elements of grotesque, satire, and exaggeration. The creator stands against discrimination, violence, and hatred. This channel fully complies with YouTube's policies and does not infringe upon copyright laws.